Well, the time has finally come to have some fun with the Walker revolver using a Kirst conversion cylinder and .45 Colt. I'm Dustin, and you're watching Guns of the West. Well, first of all, let me just thank you all for your patience. It's taken me a while to get to this part 2 of this video. I posted part 1, quite a while ago, and since then I've received a lot of comments on other videos asking where this video is. Well, the problem was, as a lot of you know, depending on where you live, ammo can be pretty hard to come by right now. I've always in the past made my own .45 Colt ammunition, but I don't have primers for it, and the primers have just been impossible here where I live to get a hold of. Finally did get a hold of some ammo though, and it's recommended when using these conversion cylinders that you don't use really hot loads. In fact, it's often recommended that you use cowboy action loads. So that's what I've got here. I picked up 2 boxes. These are the HSM cowboy action cartridges, .45 Colt, of course. And in this box, they have 200 grain bullets. But I also picked up this box, almost identical, but with 250 grain bullets. With most types of guns, oftentimes a gun will like one ammunition more than the other, so the goal today is to see which one of these boxes of ammo the Walker seems to prefer. Now let's, before we go out to the range, just take another look up close at the Kirst Konverter. Works just like shooting a single action arm. You've got the loading gate there. Pull the hammer to half cock, which frees the cylinder. Of course, this is empty right now. Renders your loading lever useless. There's no need for it whatsoever. And I've had some people ask me, well, why don't I just take it off now that there's a converter on the gun? Well, 2 reasons. I'm not always going to shoot metallic cartridges. And 2, well, let's just face it, the Walker looks a little funny without its loading lever. And I have to give a shout out to the gunsmith for Kirst, because something unexpected happened when I sent this gun in, and I did not notice it until today as I was starting to film. But I needed him to do the fitting, cut out this metal here and do a little fitting for the cylinder to fit on the frame. That's all I needed him to do. But 2 other things happened. I noticed today my loading lever is locked in a lot more securely now than it used to be. And that's because it now, this will be very hard for you to see on camera, but it has a little ledge filed in it, which is often recommended for Walkers. I've never done it, but it holds it up much, much better. And he just did that for me. He must have noticed that mine comes down pretty easy. Also, this little spring here on mine, see where that dovetail is? It's always been loose. I've never worried about it because as long as the loading lever's in place, it holds it in place. But otherwise, this would have a tendency to slide side to side and sometimes even fall out. Minor annoyance, but again, with the loading lever up, never bothered me. And it came back to me completely locked in solid. So he just noticed a couple issues my gun's always had, and he took care of them for me. So big thanks to the gunsmith there at Kirst. I don't know if that's a usual service, but he sure took care of me on that. Now, another thing I want to show on this that I did not show in part 1. Let me just get my barrel off. Hammer to half cock. That comes off just like your cap and ball cylinder. In between the chambers has these holes here. That is so that you can still load all 6, just like on a cap and ball. On a cap and ball, you would have pins sticking out, and now it's just the opposite. They're inward dented holes so that the firing pin can rest there in between the chambers, just like the hammer would have rested on the pins on the cap and ball version. Well, let's go ahead and put this back together. You can see everything else on the gun is still very much a cap and ball revolver in the way it takes down and everything. But enough talk. Let's get out to the range and let's have some fun with this Kirst conversion. I'll start with the 200 grain bullets. And as I said, these load just like they would in a Colt single action army. And I'm going to go ahead and load all 6. And then I'll just put the hammer down and rest it in one of those safety holes. And it's ready to go.
I've always hated them. I might get one just because
got a ton of 45.
Yeah, I brought
Oh, you brought it?
yeah.
Oh, baby.
That's the old A1. It's one of the fight.
No.
What's that? It's a turkey.
It'll light you right
What
now.
happens is
Actually, it's in the trash, right?
hammer comes back.
The unloading procedure is also like a single action army, except that there is no built-in ejector. So I'm using this ejector, which came with one of my Heritage revolvers that also doesn't have a built-in one. And that's what this is made for, is just to pop the cases out of the cylinder one by one. Well, that's a pretty big group, unfortunately, for the 25-yard distance that I'm shooting. However, I don't entirely blame the gun or the conversion cylinder for that. The Walker shoots very high, as some of you know, and my point of aim is about 8 inches below the bottom edge of this target, just at a blank space on a target board, so it's very hard to consistently hold the exact same point of aim all the time. But even having said that, the group is big, so let's see if it shoots better with the 250 grain bullets. I'll just get started loading up the 250s here, but I won't bore you too much. I can finish this up off camera, of course. Okay, I'm going to shoot him. Oh, beauties. Alright, we're going to see what we get out of him. Hold on. And I'll just get these ones popped out also. Well, that's a big improvement. We still have the human error from me awkwardly aiming so far below the target, but the gun itself seems to shoot much better with the 250 grain bullets. This really gets me excited to do more videos with this gun once we can get out in the desert and really have some fun with it. Well, I do really hope you enjoyed this second look today at the Walker revolver with the Kirst conversion on it and 45 Colt. Please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos, including more videos with this Kirst Walker conversion. I'll be doing some chronograph testing comparing this to the single action army, and I even have some other ideas that'll be a lot of fun to use this Kirst conversion for. And while you're in the description, make sure you see where to find their website so you can get one for yourself, as well as where to find great Guns of the West products and where to find me on social media. Thank you so much for watching.